channel and the final video on the burnt Fiesta ST. I'm quite excited about this video because, guys, we're going to be doing the numbers at some point in the video. And this car had such a following from start to finish. And when we bought it, it was, I would say without exaggeration, 5 times worse than we actually expected. Chris, is that true?
Well, I think you needed 5 times more parts than we expected.
And 5 times more work. But do you know what? It's been an absolute pleasure doing the car. Every single comment on it has been positive. Everybody was very optimistic in the first video, but hey guys, we got it to this stage and it is nearly ready to go. We are going to be doing the final video on it today, and in this final video I want to say a huge shout out to today's sponsor for sponsoring this video, guys, and that is Comline. For those of you that don't know who Comline are, guys, Comline provide quality parts at affordable prices. They supply the trade and the trade supply us. So you can pick up Comline parts like these discs, pads, service items from your local motor factors. And you know, we've been using them quite a lot lately. Quite often they do giveaways and competitions, and 3 of our subscribers in the last video actually won a service kit for their vehicle. So check out their socials, the links will be in the description. Today we're going to be fitting the Comline front brake pads and discs. They are actually alright and it did pass an MOT, but where it was sat for quite some time, they are quite corroded. These discs are coated, so they'll look really nice when you look through the wheel. The back brake discs was actually an advisory on the MOT, so we're going to be changing them for the coated discs as well. And then we're going to be going through, doing the oil filter, air filter, etc, etc. So huge thank you again to Comline for sponsoring today's video. Guys, let's crack on with it. In the meantime, check out their links. They're in the description. There we go, guys. Very, very straightforward to do on these. Very straightforward. Having the winding tool makes life really easy. Quite often you do see people with like screwdrivers or chisels hanging in here and forcing the pistons back. It's not really the right way to do it. Using the old brake pad to force it back. It's so quick with the winding tool. You would have said, obviously we've done everything on this car. Engine, gearbox, brake fluid. We've had to bleed all the brakes. So the fluid was actually full to the maximum, but of course that all come off of a different car. So now we've put, even though there was a little bit left, quite a lot left on the original pads, the pistons were out slightly. So we've topped it up to the maximum. So I did have to drain some out, and you probably did see, I've got a jar there and I just used a syringe just to suck about that much out of the reservoir, just so that when I push the piston back, otherwise, that's all going to come pouring out over the top. So that's one side. I'm not going to repeat it. I am going to do the other side off camera. But I need to get that lower little valance fitted as well. And then the wheel arch liners, of course, because we've got those now. But very, very straightforward to do. And where these discs are coated, it only wears to the metal where the pads are rubbing on it. So all of this in here actually stays nice, as opposed to your originals go all rusty all the way around, and all of this is exposed, none of it's coated. So you can see there is a bit of a lip on them front ones, and we just didn't want to let it go like that. You can see how rusty they are. That has been sat for quite some time. So I'm going to crack on and get the other side done. And that's it, guys. This is one of the jobs I enjoy doing on a car, and I do always say, I'll say it's Chris, anyone could do this on their drive or outside their house. It is, as long as you've got the proper tools, bit of research first, you can do your own brake discs and pads. There's no wear sensor on this, but even if there is, guys, normally it's a little wire, comes through here, clips on your cap here, and then goes up and just plugs in somewhere. But they was really, really straightforward to do. I'm going to get the wheels back on and then move on to the back ones. It's getting a little bit ahead of myself there, guys. Wheel arch liners. Need to get both of those fitted in there now as well. That black lower valance, got that in there, and that's where the wheel arch meets. That's where there's actually a little bit of confusion for me early on. I was thinking, well, there's a great big gap here, they're not going to fit, but it is quite straightforward. I'll get both of those chucked in, both sides, get them all bolted up. These caps, I'm sure they was about 50 or 60 quid each. I see them for on eBay. We actually ordered them from the dealer. It was £11 each, one for each side. And it really does, you can see where that's coming away there. It really does stiffen it up and hold it in place. So we need to get those fitted as well. They're inside the car. How much better does that look? A lot of messing around there because the clips was all broken and the others were melted, so we've had to fish around there and find quite a few that we didn't have. But like I said, with these caps, really stiffen it up because the side skirt actually sits all the way inside that cap. So that cap really does hold it on. And then of course going around finding all these clips to put it back together. So we're quite happy with the front of it now. The wheels can go back on that. Brakes are done. Wheel arch liners are in. Both of those foam pads are in now. I'm going to move on and get these rear discs. They are actually a lot worse than I thought. Like I say, these was an advisory on the MOT. Let's get this light hooked up somewhere. These was an advisory on the MOT, guys. But as you can see, they are actually toast. And they've got quite a nasty lip on them, but very, very rusty. So let's get those new coated discs fitted on there, calipers off, pistons wound back, etc, etc. Exactly the same as the front, but again on the rear, and these are a little bit smaller. And of course, they haven't been off for quite some time, so they're probably going to be quite difficult to get off. But no moaning, let's get involved, get it done. What Chris did there, guys, while I was continuing on with the back, in order to really keep the value, keep down what we've spent on the car now, because it really is creeping up there. We will be doing the numbers somewhere in this video. What he done was got out all 8 wheels, so the 4 that was on this car and the 4 that was on the white one out there, and what he done is pick the 4 best ones just to save us that couple of £100 on a refurb. This wheel, you can see, it's immaculate, hasn't got a mark on it, and the tyre on it is really good as well. And that one there is really, really nice. And again, those two. So just went round, made sure they all had matching centre caps. And of course, that all 4 wheels were in nice condition. I've just done this side now. That's discs and pads, both sides on the back here. But I did just want to show you guys how bad these were. They fell apart as they was coming off. But let's try and prop that there up against that box, just to give you a bit more of a... So guys, there's your brake pad. I think I've shown this before. That's how thick it should be, and that's what it should look like. And there's the brake pad that just come out of it. Definitely been a brake pad too long, and the other one was exactly the same as well. So they really, really did need doing. So I'm just going to move on now and get the other side. The piston was a little bit sticky, but once I got going with it, it started moving. Probably give that a wire brush off and a bit of a wipe over as well. Right, let's continue on. Really, really moving along with it now though. Nearly fell over then, guys. Live on camera, fell down the little step there, but managed to save myself. Yeah, that's not binding, is it? So that should be quite straightforward. You can really notice the lip on that one. Right, let's do it. I don't think we're going to be making loads of money out of this one, guys, but whoever does buy it, I think is going to be getting a cracking car. We are just running it up now, let it get right up to temperature, drain the oil out. We're going to go through it, do the oil and all the filters. So it's got nice new brakes on it right across the front and the back as well. This side was absolutely fine. You can hear there's no noise there at all now. Around this side, one of the guides on the caliper there, one of the little guides was actually frozen. It was seized solid. So I actually went over and took it off the white parts car and swapped it over with this one. But that is it now. Just about to do the oil filter, air filter, and we're going to be there with it. And we're going to do the numbers as well, which is going to be a bit different on this one, to say the least. Right, let's get this done. You can actually see that oil, guys, there. It's actually really, really clean already. Actually, yes, you can't see it at all, can you? Yeah, you can. It actually looks really clean, but when it's in the tray, it doesn't look so clean. I didn't actually spill it, but it started coming directly down and out. So I had to keep shimmying the tray around and did make a little bit of mess, but I've cleaned that up. Let that drain down for 5 minutes, get that sump plug back in, and then swap the filter over and get some oil in it. Very, very easy to do. On 14 under there. Guys, we didn't want to sit there and record doing the oil and filter, so I thought Chris's idea actually. He said, Rob, let's actually jump in it and go for a drive in it. We've just brought it down the lane.
Picks up alright, doesn't it?
Does pull well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It really feels tight, like it'd handle really well. I won't be trying in this weather though, in this wet. Yeah, nice car. We thought we'd come down here, and it ain't going to matter too much because it's never had a clean, has it? No. We've never had it washed or hoovered out, but we need some fuel. But overall, from where it's come from, mate, unbelievable. It is a lot of work, but I've said it in all the videos we've done on it and on the update as well. We've actually really enjoyed doing this one, haven't we?
Yeah. This isn't half bouncy.
It is bouncy, but it's got that mountain tune stuff on it, hasn't it? So it's slightly lower. Chris was a little bit disappointed when I put my foot down a minute ago, guys. The fact that it's got a dump bell from standard. It's not that noisy though, is it?
Horrible though, isn't it?
The turbo has to let the waste go. It's actually really quiet. Oh, it's quite bumpy on the bumpy roads, isn't it?
I can't hold the camera still.
No. We'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Let's go and get it clean.
Yeah.
So guys, really, really long-winded this one, and I've actually, for the first time ever, got 2 pages. It's that much stuff. Guys, I know some of you are going to go in the comments and actually say, you forgot this and you forgot that, and quite honestly, there is going to be a couple of bits we forgot, but you know, we're just going to, it is only because we're in the middle of something and we never wrote it down. Chris always makes a rule of writing everything down for each car, but if we're out and we pick something up and we just forget about it, sometimes the little things do go unnoticed. So get yourselves comfortable because this is going to take a minute. So the purchase price for that car was actually £1,650, and that's why Chris took the chance. I'm pointing at you, mate. It was you that bought that one, wasn't it?
No, you.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it me?
Yeah.
My apologies.
Yeah, I'm sure it was you.
I bought that one then. $1,650 plus the fees, come to $1,995 out the door, which for that car was so cheap. We thought, God, we've had a bit of luck here, but it turns out we weren't that lucky with it, was we? The parts car, now, it was one of our subscribers that reached out to us. I've got it rounded off here, but can you remember, was the car $450?
No, delivery was $450.
Delivery was $450 because it was
Newcastle, was it, or something?
Newcastle, yeah, and the car was $650.
Yeah.
Does that add up?
Just saw
Yeah, it
we
does.
were up, but when we won that car from Copart a couple of weeks running.
We did, didn't we?
Yeah.
Did we win it for more the week before? We did. £100 more, but they didn't let us have it, and in the end they did. £1,100 for that parts car delivered here. And there's no way we'd ever find another one for that money. We got so lucky with that guy reaching out to us, and he literally bought it so that his son could have the roof lining out of it and the seats for his little Fiesta replica, which was lovely. So he got what he wanted, and we got every single part that we needed for that car. Kent Auto Salvage. We got the dash, the windscreen, the splashes, the battery, fog light, 200 quid altogether. Sheppy Salvage, front panel, plastics, etc., £100. Gala Motors, we got the bonnet, the pipe and some other little bits while I was down there, and that was £120. Kent Paints, and that was when Chris based up all under the bonnet, and that was £40. Liam come out and fitted that windscreen, but he also went round Marks and cut it out of a car, and he charged us, I'm losing myself, there's so much on the list, £30. Ford main dealer, and that was side skirts, trims, clips, etc., £45. They've really been good lately, haven't they, Ford, for parts?
Yeah, that was the 2 kits for fitting the side skirts, wasn't it?
It was.
And
those 2 little caps, yeah. And those caps, like I said, guys, main dealer. You should be able to ring your main dealer. We got a bit of trade on them, but they're probably only 15 quid retail. And on eBay, like I say, there's a nice little earner there for you guys. So anyone does eBay, buy them from them and sell them on eBay. There's plenty of people doing it. Chris, you was just looking at Merc parts, weren't you? On eBay.
Yes.
And there's a thing on there for 60 quid, main dealer.
Well, it's genuine. Mercedes, so
60 quid, and there's people selling second hand.
80 quid.
Second hand ones for 80. So just shows you guys, and quite often you do say check the dealer. It would surprise you. Number plates, 20 quid. Logbook, I applied for it as soon as we got the car, and I knew that we'd get it before we finished the car. But there was always that element of if we couldn't get, I said to Chris, if we can't get the bits for that car, if we've got to put it through auction or sell it on, it'd be so much nicer to sell it on with keys and a logbook. So I applied for the logbook and it come in more or less straight away. I will say, guys, we did a car vertical on that, and if you remember, it showed you the Copart listing of all the damage, but that car is actually 100% HPI clear. It's never been claimed on, and it shows as clear. ECU clone, £120, just because we wanted to get the right chassis number back into that ECU. Front bumper, I had to go to Essex and get that, and we got lucky because a bloke misadvertised it, and I did tell him, and he said, mate, you can still have it. £380 for the headlights and the bumper. I think the bumper was like 240, and the rest was for the headlights. Front grille, unfortunately, our one had a tiny little break in it, and Chris said, Rob, we've done it this far, let's make it mint. So we had to buy a new front grille for it, which was £75. Interior light, I had to order last minute from Gala Motors, and they done us a bit of discount, and it was 35 quid delivered. MOT, £40, aircon regas, £50. What's that? Miscellaneous fuel and bits and pieces, etc., £50. Paint shop, that's a little dig in the ribs there, £700, but worth every penny. It was a lot of work for him, and I think you would agree. He done a fantastic job of getting that colour all to match. Guys, total price, £5,129. That's a lot, isn't it? When you go back to how much we paid for it, 1995, so £2,000, and now it owes us £5,129. It's unbelievable. But what we have got written down here is leftovers, £600. And when we say leftovers, we mean we got a full lowering kit, 2 front legs, rear axle, set of alley wheels, ST steering wheel, rear bumper, rear boot with rear spoiler, rear lights. Like I said previously, we're not going to do it yet, guys, so don't reach out to me just yet. Wait till it's actually on Instagram. We'll put all that on the floor, let you know what's there, and we're going to sell it as a job lot. We don't want to sell a bit here and a bit there and sell things on eBay. I've tried it and it is a nightmare. So total price after we sell that is going to be £4,529. So let's call it £4,550. Chris just said, what are we going to ask for it? And I said, mate, I don't know. And genuinely, guys, I haven't looked what they're worth. So I just had a quick flick through eBay. And before I did that, Chris said, why don't you just We Buy Any Car it just to see what they offer? I'm going to include that picture now. That shocked me a little bit. I wasn't expecting that. Was that 7,006? Guys, I'll be honest with you. I said I'll include the picture and I can't remember what it said, but it was over £7,000. And I thought, really? So I went on eBay and had a look and they're all around £8,000. 7.5 to 8,000. There's one on there for £6,000, but it says on there, category N, previously repaired. So what are we going to ask for that car? Let me just go back to what it owes us. Sorry, guys, I should have been a little bit more prepared, but genuinely, it caught me a bit off guard when I see how much. So it owes us 4.5. We're going to say 6.5, giving us pre-tax profit of £2,000. You know, there's room for negotiation slightly, but I think that that's going to be the cheapest one on the internet. And the only reason I'm not selling it for £7,500 is because we know it's got history, don't we, all of us? Yes, it's not recorded. Yes, it's been repaired properly, but we know what that car's been through, and it's not as nice as the ones that are on there that ain't had no problems with them. So, guys, that is going to be the end of the video and the end of the series on the little Ford Fiesta ST. I will be putting it on Instagram, of course, after I've done a couple of 100 miles and snagged it. But drop your comments in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Was it worth it, all that work for £2,000? Like I said, we really enjoyed doing that. And once we got stuck in, it really didn't take that long to do. The hardest part was stripping it out and then all the prep work to get the paint under the bonnet done. The rest of it was an absolute breeze. So, enough waffle. Don't forget, please like, subscribe, continue to share on all your social networking sites, and we'll see you very, very soon in the next one.